in Michigan, and my husband is in Mexico, and I always like to check my settings real quick once I get on here.
Can you see me okay or no?
Yeah, I can't believe it's still light out there.
I know it's like super dark where you're at.
Right.
What?
Okay.
It's
No,
7 there right now? What
wait.
happened?
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's 7, and yes, it has been dark for like an hour already.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
just, I gotta double check all of our things real quick.
I can tell you right now that I don't miss that.
You know what? I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the fresh, crisp air, actually.
Really?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hello
Hey
from
everyone.
Paso Robles, California. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Shelly. Snow blizzard was fun. Yes, the snow has been really fun. Annabelle has mastered sledding. And then I took a vlog of them sledding, and Abby wouldn't let me post it because it was just so funny. But they had fun sledding. Sandra,
Hey,
hello from Inglewood, California.
you guys had a blizzard?
A little bit of one. I hope we get a little bit more snow. But the Annabelle was sick last night and she's better now, but now Abigail's in bed because she was sick this morning. Hello
Hi
from
everyone. Happy New
Chicago.
Year. Sorry.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hi there, Mr. and Mrs. Zaragoza. Greetings from Aguascalientes.
Man, Aguascalientes is really nice.
Dude, wasn't someone getting snow like around that area?
I'm not sure.
Happy New Year.
They got a bunch of hail, I thought.
Chino Hills, California.
Chino
Where's
Hills.
Cristiano at, hon?
He went to the store real quick. He went to go get some chips.
Oh, by himself? Just to Sonia?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll see him in just a minute. Happy New Year, everybody. It's so cold in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, I'm surprised. Jessica used to live in San Antonio, and I feel like she'd tell me how hot it always was. Greetings from
I really like
Houston.
Texas.
Oh, you guys. Hello from New Mexico. Our state's 113th birthday of statehood today. That's so cool. Pismo Beach, California. Have you ever been there, Lalo?
Where?
Pismo Beach?
Yeah.
Or have you?
Yeah.
That's so cool. For a prosperous new year. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year from a Mexican living in Spain.
Man, that's awesome. I wonder. Sergio said it was a lot like Mexico because Sergio went to Spain. Well, that my
Uh-huh.
brother did, and he
Uh-huh.
said it was a lot like Mexico.
Oh, I bet. Happy New Year, 72 in California. Wow, 72. I will tell you guys, okay, Connie says our low is going to be 35 degrees today.
I
Oh,
can't do
wow.
that.
It hasn't been bad. I have been really taking in my Michigander side and enjoying the fresh, cold, crisp air.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember you waking up here and being like, "It's freezing."
No, but it's because my mom has bed warmers, and I'm bringing one of those back to Mexico with me somehow. I'm bringing a bed warmer back, but what I do is I push because my mom has a futon that's like a bed, so I pushed it against her window, and I keep the window open at night, but then I keep the bed warmer on me.
Yeah.
So it feels like a hot tub in the winter. Like that fresh air just really does something good for me.
No thanks.
I will say the kids, like Annabelle and Penelope, because they've had so much of their life now in Mexico. They haven't been back for the winter in a very long time. They do not like driving everywhere. That really
Really?
bothers them. Yeah, like, cause you know how just like little things, like if you have to go to the store real quick,
Yeah.
they do not like that inconvenience. That bothers them, especially Annabelle, terribly.
Man, I used to drive them around for them to fall asleep. Remember?
I know. And I feel like, for us to go to the city when we're in the ranch takes a long time. But I feel like since we don't go every day, but when like here you go somewhere every day, so they just don't like being in the car like that.
Yeah. Somebody
And
said it
then
must be so quiet here, like in the house in Mexico. It is. The house
it,
like remains spotless. Me and Cristiano are outside all day.
it remains spotless.
It does.
Because the girls like to, they play pretend so much, they play all over the house.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. I miss it being like messy. You know what I'm saying? I miss like having to pick up their toys and stuff. It's
Right,
just it's weird, like a weird contrast because it's almost like nobody's here.
right. I bet it's weird for your mom.
It is.
Oh, is that Cristiano? Oh, I
Yeah.
want to say hi to my baby.
Cristiano, your mom's on
Cristiano,
live.
boo boo,
You want to say hi?
Yeah, hi.
buddy. Hi, buddy. I miss
Hi.
you. Let me see you better. Oh, you always look handsome.
He got a haircut yesterday.
Oh, it looks so nice. Did Sonia do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You look really good, buddy. Do you miss mommy?
yeah.
Daddy's not as nice as mommy, is he?
Hmm, I don't know.
No, I already know he lets you have snacks all the time. I love you, buddy.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
He's like, love you,
Oh.
bye.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Hi guys from California. All right, guys. So I can only do about a 45-minute live because Abigail is still really sick, and I just want to make sure I can take care of the kids. But I really wanted us to do a live to talk about me coming back here to Michigan only for the kids' winter break. They have a couple more days left to winter break. But I really needed a regroup and a mental refresh. And I thought this would be a good time to talk about it because you guys have been following our family for so long. And a lot of you catch on to our different personalities. Even my husband, I feel like when he's going through stress or anxiety, he shows it a lot differently than me. But we do both go through it. And a lot of times it's at different times. We're normally not going through a panic attack or stress at the same time for some reason. Um,
I think my
but
triggers are different than yours.
yeah, that's a good word for it. Triggers. And so I think I just really, because of winter break, and I was very blessed that my mom was like, just come back for winter break. And I have a family doctor here who has known me since I was little, and he's a Christian, and he's my husband's doctor too.
Hmm.
So I feel like whenever we're kind of going through our panic attacks or our anxiety, he understands our family well, and he's always there to help us. So I'll give you my point of view a little bit, but then I'll let my husband give his point of view. But I think I just kind of had a severe panic attack because of just little things that were getting built up. Um, and then, for me, they don't go the way I think they're going to go. And it feels like, okay, well, if it doesn't go my way, it's going to completely just fall apart, like doom and gloom. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's also a woman's um, mentality, like we want to keep things together. And I think my husband can handle stress a little bit better, moment by moment.
I don't know that it's better. I think, like I said, I think we have different triggers. I think for you is um, just a lot of stuff that was going on. I personally don't tend to, take on a whole bunch of things. And if I do, it's like, I try to do it day by day. So I'll try and do one thing this day, and then I'll try and do another thing the other day. But I'm not having to do five things at once.
Yes.
But you, on the other hand, you're go all day, and then it's like, um, I think YouTube is hard too. Like, just some of the comments and stuff is really hard too. And it's hard to ignore them. It,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even on your YouTube that often. You know what I mean? So I can't really, um, say how you feel about it.
And I will say Moonchild 55, she said, it feels like your world is crumbling. So from I don't want to say just a woman's perspective, but from my perspective, when I do have a panic attack, it's like I'll go months and months. I'm absolutely fine to all of a sudden all those things my husband was saying, I'm go, 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 go. Everything that's just kind of I'm putting off or I'm not taking care of the way I should comes crumbling down within a moment. So it's like months and months of I can put it to the side. It's not really bothering me. To all of a sudden, it feels like a ton of weight out of nowhere that is never going to be relieved. Um, so that being said, I feel like when I came back here, I got to talk to my family doctor. That was wonderful. And just talking to my mom as well. All of us who are blessed enough to have all those things, to have our family support around. And then also to have my husband who is not like, you have to stay here. My husband's like, I'll take care of everything for you. I just want you to be okay. So coming home and having like a refresh with my mom and my family, and also being able to say no to some things. For example, a big, huge trigger for me was our rescue dog, and we didn't know at the time that she was sick and she had been sick for a while. And my husband kind of explained to me, he goes, your heart's in the right place because we want to take care of all these animals, but then we're not rescuers. We don't know signs to look for when animals are sick. We don't know for certain things. So, like, and then somebody commented on my YouTube, they said, animal rescuers can't have too soft of a heart. They said something like that because of all the traumatic things they see. And anyways, so I had to kind of refocus. I do love animals. That doesn't mean I have to take them in, but what I can do is me and my husband can help the rescues around us. So from the dog we did try to rescue, we found so many other rescues that need help that are actual like organizations. And then we also donated that money that was raised for the puppy to one of those organizations. It's one of the biggest ones in Chapala. They have over 100 dogs that need rescuing. So I'm gonna try to put their link on my vlog that I just posted so that you guys can look into that rescue as well. But I think it's handling things different. And my husband kind of tries, he's the half of me that's more reasonable. Like, you don't have to do everything, you can't do everything.
Not that you can't. I don't feel like you can't. I don't feel like it's impossible. I feel like, I feel like maybe we have a different approach to it. Like,
Right,
I'm gonna use, you know, the dog for example.
right,
Uh, I think, as a person that does rescue animals like that, I think they go through different steps before we're completely attached to this animal.
right.
Maybe it would have been easier for us to take her to the vet. We would have found this out, right
Sooner.
when she was following you or when you decided to rescue her.
Mhm.
Right,
And we wouldn't have been so attached to that puppy or whatever it was.
right. He said
I think
plug him in the
I
corner.
think it's just different steps. And sometimes honestly we just don't have the means to. I think we have the best intentions.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just don't have the means to do. do it in those right steps.
Right, exactly. And I think it was just a big loss for us, and also we had to take a break on our house for a moment. And that's something me and my husband will both go further into once I get back to Mexico, because my husband can explain it better than I can. But a lot of people told us, building a house together, or just building a house in general, mentally is really hard. And uh, I think I didn't think it was going to be. I was kind of like, oh, it's going to be fine. Everyone does it here. And then um things start not going right, and then you start panicking, and then all of a sudden construction stops, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Like, all these things, the dog, the house, all these things are happening at the same time. And so I think just women in general, emotionally, it comes out more. And I think for you, hun, you, I don't know how you're not as emotional. You're kind of like, well, we'll figure it out, but it's still hard.
No, again, it's not. Those aren't any of my triggers. I can handle stress really well. Like not stress, but like I can handle being in like pressured situations. Um,
Right.
because like I said, I could kind of cancel things out and just focus on that one thing. And like the house wasn't really stressful for me. It was more like from my triggers are like more where you know I go through all these scenarios in my head and then I can't find a solution to whatever is going on. Like when I
Yeah.
was in Michigan, you would call me or I knew something was going on in Mexico that it couldn't fix from 3,000 miles away. That was a
Yeah.
trigger for me. Not so much of, what was going on. It's just I didn't
Right.
find a solution to it.
Right. And Elise Diaz on here said he's more practical. My husband's the same. Then I feel like I'm the only one worrying when I'm really not. And that's a great way to put it. You are more practical, hun. Like,
Yeah, I'm not, like I
I
said,
think I see unrealistic. I'm like, it's either going to go so magically well, or it's going to go unrealistically terrible. But I feel like you're kind of like, oh, it's
well, I feel like everything has a solution. It's just, I mean, like for me, it's like finding that solution.
right. Right. And at the time of panic, I don't feel like there's a solution. And then Denise Hernandez says that's why men should be head of household. And so there, I would love to comment on that, because that is something I talked to you about, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I tell my husband, I think I told you this recently. I said, as much as it's hard, God wants you to be the head of the household. He wants it to be God and then my husband, but my husband has a big responsibility of following the Lord so that he can lead our family. And I feel like you do that the best you can. You are human, but I also try to remind you in gentle ways as well, because I try to take over a little bit sometimes, and I think
And
that's
that's
just
not, and that's
a
not a
mom
bad thing.
mentality too.
Yeah, that you're not taking. Somebody commented on here where, um, where you were taking care of the kids and, doing all these other things, and they mentioned something about like, you know, um, you like taking over the house build or something, and my response to that was like, I don't expect you to build a house. What I mean? If I
Right.
let you, you probably could. What I mean? You designed the whole house. What I mean? But I don't expect you to go out there and build a house. Um,
Right.
I think it's just different roles. It's not like, you, like I said, you designing the house was kind of taking over that. What I mean? But that's something I can't do. I can't get on the computer and design a house in half an hour.
Right. I also feel like it's funny because I feel like coming here, God gave me a little bit better perspective on something, because my sister Emily just bought a home, which you guys will see on the next vlog, but it's it's almost the exact same setup as mine and my husband's home that we're building. except it doesn't have the second floor, but it has the living room, kitchen open, and then a hallway to the bedrooms and a bathroom. And it is so nice. And we all gather there, my whole family. The kids are playing. It's so comfy and cozy. And it just kind of gave me the perspective of if we can't do a second story, I'm 100% okay with that. I love being all together, like in the living room while the kids are playing and people are cooking and watching TV. And so I also think God gave me that perspective as well. I'm always thinking, oh, we need more space in case people visit and all these other things, um but also everybody was visiting my sister's house and it's so small and it was so comfortable and perfect. So I think that also gave me a little bit of a calm as well. And then someone said, I can't wait to see how the house turns out. Us too. And then Connie said, sometimes being around your spouse 24/7 can be hard too. Yes, I live in a two-story, and that gives us an option when we need a break from each other. We're both retired, but we raised 4 kids. Oh, wow. Is it the raccoon?
Aaron,
Okay.
someone just asked why you're sitting in the dark.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Number one, my mom's house doesn't have a lot of light, but I'm in the room with Abby and she's sick, so I don't want to turn the light on, but hopefully you guys can see me. Maybe I can turn the little light on if it won't bother her. Okay, well, look at my mom's lights. Okay, maybe that helps you guys.
Somebody asked, what did I miss?
It has thumbs. It's the raccoon. We
Elizabeth,
had
thank you.
we had a raccoon come to my mom's front door. And which raccoons, if you guys know, they do not come out like normally they don't come out during the day and they don't want to be around people. And it was acting crazy. And we had to call like the state animal control and I couldn't let the kids go outside. And it's outside of my door. Yeah, and they said they were gonna charge $250 to come out and get a rabid raccoon. And I was like, I thought the state would like if there was a wild animal that could have rabies or something would just come get it, but no. So it just like circled the home like a shark. I couldn't leave the house
We couldn't
for like
leave the
2 days.
house. We couldn't leave the house for 3 days.
And we were like, well, what do we do if we can't like pay that much for you to come out? And they're like, it should eventually just wander off. I'm like, what?
And it wandered off.
There's
And now it's by the door.
It might be, or it might
there's
be the
live
other neighborhood
there's
cat.
live traps in your mom's garage.
There's what?
Live traps.
Hun, I'm not catching a live rabid raccoon. I can tell you that right now. It's
No,
gonna
that's
get
what,
trapped and then still no one's gonna come pick it up. Then what do we do?
no. It goes in a cage, and then you can
And
pick up the cage.
hun, there is no way I'm gonna pick up the cage. There is no
Have,
way. The raccoon will escape as I'm picking it up, and you know it. You know for a fact something would happen and that raccoon would get out. There's no way. Let me see. I had
somebody
a
wants you
squirrel.
to repeat what we were talking about, or at least inform them on what we're talking about.
Somebody said it cost them $500. They had a squirrel living in their wall. Oh, no way. Hi, besties. Aww. We love you guys. Thank you. Years ago, we had a mama possum with babies, and we called animal control. They told us to catch it, and they would come get it. I'm not catching it.
Hey,
I
hold on.
can't do it.
I gotta turn on the light real quick.
Okay. Okay, and someone said, "What's wrong with Abby?" She was throwing up all morning, so she probably has some sort of
And
stomach bug.
staying up all night.
And Annabelle was throwing up all night. But just those two. So since nobody else is sick, they might have just ate something. not very good for them.
They were the only ones that ate the blueberries.
Donna White said, I have to go. God bless y'all.
They were
To the moon and back, stay strong. Much love from Texas. Thank you so much, Donna. Hope she feels better. Hello from Cali. Okay, go sit down, Pumpkin, okay, with your sister. Okay, and then praying she gets better soon. Get her tea for her stomach. It was the snow she ate. Abby probably did eat snow. Annabelle, I know, did eat snow.
Yeah. When she was in the second day of snow, she ran outside and started eating snow.
Oh no.
Eduardo, estamos bien. Gracias.
I'm scared to go outside.
I promise you, it's just the neighbor cat. My mom has a really big back door, and that's where her cats go in and out. And there's a neighborhood cat over there right now. It's Pumpkin. Did Cristiano not want to go to Michigan? Okay, so I will tell you guys, for Cristiano, my husband, because he worked last year, if you've been watching our vlogs long enough, you know that my husband spent a whole entire year in the United States working, and then I spent the year in Mexico, and my husband was working, but also he was getting his welding degree. So my husband has to go back in March because he has to do his taxes. But because I brought the girls this time for this trip, Cristiano and my husband are gonna have a boys' trip, and they're gonna go in March together. So that's why Cristiano didn't come this trip, and he got to decide if he came this trip, he didn't get to go in March with Dad, so he wanted to be able to go in March with Dad. When are you guys going back to Jalisco? Pretty soon. Sounds I like to see you in Mexico with Lalo. Sounds like you just need to be around strong prayer warriors. Yes, 100%. Boys trip with Dad. I know, and it's like Lalo always gets the easy trips from the United States to Mexico. I'm always the one with the most kids traveling by
Listen, I
myself.
don't mind taking the kids either. You
No,
chose
but
to. I told you didn't have to.
one time my husband and I, we got because we love flying Viva Aerobus, because actually right now you can fly from Chicago to Guadalajara for $70 nonstop. And it's such a nice airline. But one time, it was the one time like me and my husband were flying together with all the kids. And so we wanted to get the very back row by the bathroom. So like, oh, we'll just take our time getting off. We got we had to pay the same price for tickets. We had no windows. And then there was no way to push our seat back because we were against a wall. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was terrible. I was like, I will never do that again.
I don't know how people like fly to like Japan or you know what I mean?
No,
Like really long flights like that. Dude, 4 hours is like I can't take 4 hours of that.
no, there's no way. And then Joshua M said, is there anything that this trip reminded you of that you miss about living in the States? And maybe it's the same for my husband. I miss my family a lot. I like my sisters and my mom and my grandpa because we're really close. Like we just walk into each other's house and we always have meals together and things like that. And I miss the communication of just being able to have like a full conversation and uh be like in depth with people. And I think my husband probably misses his family too and mine. But that's one of the hard parts. Is I miss our family. I miss tacos though, so. And the kids refuse to go to any taco places here. I'm like, let's go get tacos at El Burrito Loco, and they're like, it
They,
won't be the same. No, we're not going.
yeah, they know
They
they won't
refuse.
taste the same.
Someone said my parents are going to Japan in March. Alyssa XO2 from Rochester, New York, and it's a 5-hour flight and then a 15-hour flight.
Oh my
I
gosh. Hi
said, no, thank
Desiree.
you. I could never. Hi, Desiree. Go to Hawaii. I flew from Dallas to Madrid, Spain, 9 hours.
I can't.
Abby, I'm not gonna show Abby. She's next to me in her bed, but like as I'm reading the comments, she's going. Oh my gosh, 11 hours to Azores Island, Lalo, and I'm 6'1" tall. Okay, Ricardo, you better save up and buy like first class legroom tickets.
I remember I did
What do you?
that when I was flying here with your mom and your sister. Um, I asked them, I was like, "Hey, what seats did you guys get?" and all this stuff, and um, they ended up somewhere in the middle. They ended up somewhere in the middle, and I ended up getting like the very front seat. So I board the plane, and then I like sit down instantly. And your mom's like, "How'd you get this seat?"
No, because she's too cheap to pay for the more like the upper seats,
I
even
think
though
it was
she
only
can
like
afford
it was like
them.
$12.
Oh my gosh. You know, they won't let you sit in the front row unless you're 18 or older.
Really?
Isn't that weird? At least on Viva Aerobus. Long flights can be very stressful on our bodies, and then once there, you have the time change. It takes a couple of days to recover. Same flying
But
home. Yes. I will say it's been really hard on Annabelle to recover sleep-wise. She is not, and you guys know Annabelle's personality. She's very go, go, go. And she begged to go on this trip, didn't she, hun?
Mhm.
And I was like, Annabelle, it's a lot of time, like sitting in the airport, sitting in the plane. It's a long drive from Chicago to Michigan. And she's like, nope, I want to do it. And she has been on the edge. Okay. Like,
originally it was just gonna be you and Pete, and then
originally, yeah.
yeah,
And then Abby,
somehow yeah,
and
Annabelle and
then, yeah,
Abigail ended up going.
right. Because my mom couldn't say no to them. So then yes, so then the little girls start coming, and Annabelle, I have to take her out every single day because her mind is just she wants to go 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 go. Also, we learned today, if you guys watch my vlog, beavers used to be as big as bears, and they have their like skeleton to prove it.
I don't know how they know that.
They have their remains to prove it. We just went to a museum today.
I feel like that's
As
fake.
big as bears. I bet you anything they still exist. Her mother is not cheap. She is budget conscious. Very true. My mom is budget conscious. Yes. But sometimes I do wish she would because she does so much for all of us. I wish she would like get her nice seat and relax. Um
Wait, but here's what I understand. Okay, are like the longer flights like that? Like I understand it's a
Miserable.
bigger airplane, but like can you at least lay down like fully, or like I mean?
When
Is
you
it more comfortable than what we're doing now?
XS 810 X99, Happy New Year. I enjoy watching your videos. Being Mexican American, I love seeing how your kids are loving Mexico. Wish you all the best. Greetings from California. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Somebody tell us if the planes are different, or like, can you lay down, or because I can't imagine. Man, I can't even sleep for 4 hours on the plane. How do we sleep for 11?
No, I could never. No, it's real. I don't know how people do it. Giant beavers, nah. What museum did you go to? I'm telling you, watch my vlog that I just posted. Annabelle read the whole thing, and they had skeletal proof of the beavers. They used to be as big as black bears. And then they had a life size one of what they looked like. It's wild. And I think they still exist, I bet.
Yeah, but you're also scared of a brown cow.
You'll never understand my fear of wild animals.
Boo was over there
Who
laughing.
was laughing? Okay, so someone said if you buy business or first class tickets, the seat lay back into twin beds. I think the Mexican airlines that go from like Chicago to Guadalajara, I don't think they have first class or business because all of them seem the same to me.
No, American Airlines did. They had a business class, but
Really?
it was like yeah, it was like the same thing.
Oh, that's so weird.
You know what was cool though? The train from Chicago to Holland.
I I wanted to do that, but Annabelle said no.
What? Why?
Yeah, because she's scared she won't be able to move on the train because it like doesn't stop, like how a car can stop and you can get out and stretch your legs.
It does stop.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, I did a 9-hour flight from Dallas to Madrid, and it's a bit wider, so people get up and walk and stretch a lot in the aisles. Joshua M., go Lions. And my sister Emily was just at the Lions game, and you're not going to believe who she was close enough to take a photo of.
Who?
Can you hear Abby in the background? Abby's going, my boyfriend. So last night, because I went to bed early and all the kids went to bed early, and I'm dozing off and I hear my mom, and my mom goes, "You're not gonna believe the photo Emmy just sent me." And we're all sleeping, okay? And I'm like, who was it? And it was Taylor Lautner, Team Jacob, you guys from Twilight. Cause you know he was like born and raised in Michigan. I know you don't care, hun. Abigail woke up from her sleep. She's like, I would have tackled him. And I'm like, and then what? But she sent us photos. She was so excited. But yeah, Emmy got to go on. It's not called courtside, field side. I don't know, but she was very close to the field. So yeah, she got to go. But anyways, Taylor Lautner was there. And you guys let me know. My husband doesn't know any of this, but you let me know if you're Team Edward or Team Jacob, because when Abby was just a baby, me and my best friend Connie, because my husband was in Mexico at the time, and that's when the Twilight movies were coming out, and me and my best friend Connie would wait in line at the movie theaters to watch them.
Hey,
And
where's
I was
PP
Team
at?
Jacob.
Hold on. Before we finish that, will you tell PP to say hi to this person? Can you read that?
Oh, yes. Penelope, can you come say hi to someone?
Luis, saludos.
Can you say hi to a little girl named Mia?
Hi.
Dile, hola, Mia.
Hola, Mia.
It says, can Penelope please say hi to my little granddaughter Mia, who is 5 and in kindergarten? She watches y'all channel with me. Hello from Tennessee.
Hi.
Oh, Pee, can you tell them, are there giant beavers? You've seen proof, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was scary because first I got scared because it sounded like ice was cracking and there was ice in there.
Somebody said Team Lalo. Ha.
Man, I would go for Team Marvel too.
2 miles, have first class seats. They recline. Oh, wow. Hi from Holland, Michigan. Nobody's telling me if they're Team Jacob or Team Edward.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people replied.
Did they?
Yeah, most of them were Team Lalo.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm Team Lalo now, but teenager me was Team Jacob, and older me is Team Edward. Team Jacob, Team Jacob. Abby's team, Wolfpack. Team Jacob. And my sister got to sit next to him. That's crazy.
Cristiano's doing okay. He's just laying on the couch laughing at all the comments.
I would love to answer Alyssa XO2. Okay, she had a good question, and this will be different. The answer will be different from me and my husband. Can you touch on the subject of going from 2 kids to 3? Was it harder than 1 to 2? We are up in the air and having the third. 2 was harder than 3 or 4. 2 was so hard for me. It was so hard. Because they're both kind of little. But by the time you have the third, the first one is kind of playing with the second one,
Yeah, they're
and they're
more
more
independent.
independent. Yeah, and then you have the third, and then the fourth made it even easier because they teamed up. like Cristiano and Abby are always a team, and then Penelope and Annabelle are always a team. So it really and then by the time you have your fourth, your bigger ones are loving the babies and helping with them a lot. Was two harder for you, hon, or was it just kind of you worked so much that I feel like
I feel like I missed out on all my kids as being babies.
yeah,
Like I don't remember. Sometimes I see photos of anybody, any of our kids, Abigail or Cristiano or Annabelle or P, and I don't remember any of that.
right? Well, it's hard. You were working so much. Someone said my grandma always said if you have two kids, you might as well go ahead and have 10, as there is no difference.
That might be true. Well, my dad was one of 11.
Someone said my husband says the same. But yeah, two was really hard. Four was perfect for us. And I think that is where I'm gonna keep my life because I love the babies I have and I have a big responsibility to care and to lead them. At one point, I had a baby, elementary, middle school, and high school. Talk about adjusting your schedule to accommodate all. Wow, that is wow. Yeah, that would be a lot. It's so wild to me. You guys all have so many stories. And I love reading through everyone's comment and just everybody's different takes on things as well. Someone said Edward is pasty and gross. Abby.
I told you.
Abby said, I told you.
Gosh.
My one of our like family traditions is that we watch Twilight when we come back to Michigan to visit my family. So that is funny.
Just clear that up. That's not my family tradition. I don't know what you're doing.
No, and then it's funny because all of us were in my mom's bed last night. Even my Aunt Chris was here, and my Uncle Tom walked in, and he's like, "What are you guys doing? Just being lazy all day?" And I'm like, "We're trying to finish the Twilight episodes
Yeah,
in peace."
you're telling this to the next cop.
He's trying to fix Emmy's like gas lines at her house, and he comes in all like frantic, and he's like, because he's trying to solve this problem, and we're all just relaxing watching Twilight. Um, okay, but you guys, in just a minute, I'm actually gonna get going because I just wanted to do a short live, and kind of just update everybody and say hi to everybody because I'm missing doing my vlogs, but I knew I had to take a breath for a minute, and I am starting to feel a lot better. And then when we get back, me and my husband are going to touch on the subject of our home because we really need to talk about the ups and downs of it. It has not been, maybe it's been what my husband expected, just not what I expected. No
What?
Twilight. Someone said that's why you guys stayed in there.
Yeah, that's
Cristiano
probably why.
would feel so awkward watching Twilight. He would never. He would never. Poor guy. He's always surrounded by girl stuff.
Not me. Look, me and Boo will get up and we're outside working all day, and then whenever we get tired, we come inside.
Okay, hun. So I'm gonna get going. If none of you guys have any more questions, I want you to watch tonight's vlog because I want you to see the giant beaver that lived in Michigan. It roamed Michigan.
I know, but now I feel like you're gonna be paranoid about giant beavers.
Yeah.
Well, I know they still exist. I know they do. Probably like in the Upper Peninsula where people aren't exploring. And then we watched a thing about wolverines. You don't want to get lost in the woods of Michigan.
Somebody said you need to
That's
get
all.
home. The Chihuahua gangs are missing you.
No, oh my gosh. I Oh, and thank you so much. Connie said, you two got this. Take deep breaths. Thank you so much. And I wanted to talk about it because you guys are part of my YouTube family. And, I just want to be as. And my mom told me, my mom recently, because my mom loves watching our YouTube, and she goes, Erin, I love watching you in Mexico. She goes, but you have so much to talk about, and you have so much like you can help people with and experiences you've been through. And I was like, Mom, like you're right. I I see the world beautifully in Mexico and here and other things. And when we have anxiety, we have panic attacks. I just want people to know that they don't go through that alone. And so hopefully it helps other people too, that you can have your dreams and you can be doing good things and you can still mentally have times where you're not okay and you just need to regroup.
Um,
Here, Lalo.
and
Lalo's
also,
living the life because his mom's taking care of him and spoiling him in
no, my
Christianity.
mom's not even here. She's at the stinking at the El Cabildo. That's the
No.
Cristiano calls it the drama group.
Oh my goodness.
I was gonna say though, just to add to that, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. Um, if you guys watch our vlogs or whatever it is, at least try and be nice. I mean, we're trying our best, and we're also human. Words, your guys' words sometimes do hurt. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not easy for everybody to take in all this information. Um, even if it is the wrong information, you still double think or um, double think of what it is that we're doing. You know what I mean? Because you know, we can only do so much.
And I agree, and 99% of everybody on our YouTube is so wonderful. And if sometimes every once in a while people do leave mean comments, and right away the people who love us a lot are on it and are like, you need to stop, or that's not true. And that always makes me feel really good because yeah, sometimes for me, because I care like so much about people, I hear all the good comments. I'm always hearing them, but then that one bad comment, it might try to stick to me longer. And I'm like, but why? So it's just something also I have to work through. And like Annabelle, she'll sneak back onto my phone and press thumbs down. And I had to tell her she's not allowed to do that, like when someone leaves a me because she can read so well. Um, so I'm not going to put a thumbs down, but I also have to not be afraid to be like, oh, I can take that comment off and I don't have to look at it again.
And that's another thing. What I mean, our kids read the comments, so I don't want my kids reading all these negative comments and weird things.
No. And then Ferdinand here said, Camino from LA and planning to move to Tototlan, Jalisco. What advice would you give to help adjust to the difference in environment?
Um, Honestly, there's not really much difference. Um, it's a way of life, and you get to pretty much choose the way you want to live. I think, at least for me, like the states was a lot more stress, a lot more bills. I mean, really here we could choose. If we want to have I'll do gas for example. I mean, if we don't want to cook inside, we can have a fire outside. I remember. Do you remember our blue house by the lake? Um,
Hmm.
that first year that we lived there, they called the cops on us like 3 times because we had a bonfire in the backyard. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, because it's just different in the cities. They're just stricter.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if they just didn't like us or I don't know what it was.
Right.
But
Yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, it just depends on the life that you want to live. I understand that the life that we're living isn't for everybody. Maybe coming here on vacation. Like, I don't want. that's something I don't do. I don't want to think that I'm just here on vacation. I don't want to think that I'm just here for a month and then, I get to leave again. This is, I'm making my life the way I want to live type thing.
Right, exactly. Um, and it's funny because when she talks about that, our children, since they're getting a little bit older now, um, I can kind of see the struggle in the little girls between they want to be in Mexico right now because they love the freedom of running in and out, going up to the stores. They like their friends in their school, but they also like the different experience here. They kind of like how they have this kids museum, or they like how there's a lot of family giving them attention, and it's a little bit easier to talk, but they also want to be in Mexico. So I think that's the only thing. It's a gift to our children. They'll have both places. But I think they'll always struggle a little bit like we do with we love Mexico, and but we also know half of our family isn't in Mexico. The way a lot of a Mexican Americans struggle, Mexicans who live in the United States and know their families in Mexico, and maybe they haven't seen them for 20 years. That's a huge struggle to have such that's the biggest difference, and that's the biggest struggle I think we face.
Yeah, for sure.
God bless you guys. No one else has God blessings there in Mexico. Can you read it, hun? The bottom one?
It says, ¿Qué dice la güera? What is a white girl saying? Um, I don't know.
I was just going through a couple more of your guys' comments. Um, but that is hard. And someone said Team Aaron. Oh,
Someone asked if you feel rejected by the locals here.
no, I don't think so. I think everybody is very kind and loving and respectful of me. And someone said you train dogs. We have two German shepherds, and my husband did train them. They're wonderful dogs. Dogs are so much responsibility. Riverside, California.
Saludos a
Sometimes you
todos de
can live
Riverside.
sometimes you can live close to family and still not see each other often. Too busy making a living in life itself. Yes. And then I want to go back to let me see. Hold on, I'm trying to look for someone's.
Cassandra Reese, you can do it too. Promise.
Oh, thank you so much. She said you're living my dream. Wait. Yes, they are. Hope you guys have a blessed evening. I'm in Jalisco, Mexico now, leaving tomorrow. I wish I could live here permanently. Oh, what part of Jalisco are you in? Jalisco in general is beautiful. That's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about. My husband and I, when I get back from winter break, we're gonna kind of regroup a little bit because when we took that trip to Chapala with my husband's friends, it kind of opened our eyes to a little bit more of Mexico. And you guys know I love old churches in the history of Mexico. So we really want to try to make it a goal if we can, once a month or maybe once every 2 months, taking you to a new part of Jalisco. Because even me and my husband haven't got to experience much of Mexico, just kind of the surrounding cities and ranches, but we've loved them all. Like there's been something new and unique and beautiful about each one.
So somebody asked how we made Mexico happen. Yeah.
Okay, and before Connie MW10 goes, thank you so much, and thank you for caring and thinking about our family, and I hope you have a really good dinner.
And
And then what did you say, hon?
somebody asked how we made it happen Like how we made Mexico happen.
Most people who have watched our story know that we my husband lived in the United States illegally. Then when he had to go back to Mexico, um, we kind of seen the beauty of it, but then we moved back to the States, had our children, we had our home, our cars, all the normal American things. And we decided we just wanted our children to grow up the way the kids live in the ranchos in Mexico. And the best way for me to explain the way kids grow up in the rancho is through my vlogs visually, so you can see how life is there. And so we had to make a big jump and we had to sell everything so that we would have and we were blessed, me and my husband weren't in debt when we sold everything. So we were blessed that we had enough of a profit from selling everything that we could kind of settle in Mexico and decide how we were going to make a living there. And it was a lot of ups and downs. And we
I think
still have ups and downs.
I think if you had to make a list, it would be, um, figure out where you want to live, get rid of all your debt, and save up some money so that you can be here and kind of start over. You know,
And we had to sacrifice.
yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
like we had to sacrifice a lot.
this isn't like we failed a lot to it. I don't want to make it seem
Oh yeah.
like this is all rainbows. You know what I mean? We failed a lot, um, because we didn't know what we were doing. Because we took on too many things.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a lot that goes into it. I mean, but I think because we didn't give up, we didn't just say, "Oh well, this didn't work out." You know what I mean? We're gonna go back to our regular life. We just weren't happy. You know what I mean? I think at least Mexico gives us some sort of peace that we weren't able to get in the states.
Yeah.
And if that's worth it for you, I think it'd be it would be great. I think you really appreciate being here.
Right. And Crystal G83 asked, so that year that Lalo had to spend in Mexico was before you had kids. So I
Yeah,
had
Abigail.
Abigail.
She was
She's my
several months
oldest.
old.
Yeah, yep, she was just a baby. And that's when he had to go to Mexico. Now, what he had was a meeting in Juarez, and he was supposed to just get his residency. He was probably going to be in Mexico 2 weeks, get his residency, and come back. But
No,
when
so no, we knew we knew I was gonna get denied because we had already applied for a waiver. So basically, my lawyer told me that I would be here 3 weeks, um, tops, because he had other clients with about the same thing. You know what I mean? Where they enter the country illegally, but as kids, and that's kind of what had happened to them. So I was planning on being here for 3 weeks. I knew I was going to get denied for my waiver, but the thing was, we had already applied for a new waiver. Okay, that he said that shouldn't have got denied.
yeah,
So then, when I went back for my second interview after the first one got denied, they denied it again, and that was something that we didn't expect. So now because my lawyer, what he did was immediately apply for another waiver, and the only thing that held us back was the the time it took to get another interview, which was a year and 4 months. At the time, we didn't know that. We were just waiting for an interview, and
right.
that's
But it meant my husband was stuck in Mexico for a year and 4 months, no matter what. And we didn't plan on that because my husband was a provider and I just had a baby and we had just gotten married, and I'm not Mexican. I was not Mexican like I am now. I kind of am. But I wasn't I'm not Mexican, so I felt like our world had come crashing down. And really it was a blessing. It gave him time with his dad, a lot of time with his dad, because his dad has passed away, but him and his dad were very close. It gave him a lot of time with his dad in his home country. And that was a blessing in itself. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to get that. And then it also opened my eyes to Mexico, because if it wouldn't have happened, I don't know if we ever would have went and experienced it the way that we did.
This stupid thing.
Well, that's what you get for using that. I tell you all the time.
No, my phone's almost dead.
Okay. But now living in Mexico, our kids love it. They're almost fluent in Spanish. And yes, the kids have dual citizenship because of their dad being born in Mexico. And then when we had to apply for it was when we needed them to go to school, and the process wasn't terrible. It was a lot easier than it was for my husband. And someone said, Lupita, you are Mexican. Thank you. In my mind, I was literally thinking I wasn't Mexican then.
Gosh.
Oh, that's so funny. Um, but I do feel like I am. But I feel the struggle between the love of Mexico and the love of my family here. And that's hard. But I hope my channel brings people joy. I hope people who are in the United States get to feel a little bit of Mexico and a little bit of the rancho and the food and the people and the culture, even the music, all of it.
So many people have commented on, how they're not able to come back. That people that haven't been back to Mexico in 40 years, and I
Wow.
can't even imagine what that would feel like. I know my dad went
Yeah.
through it, but my dad didn't really talk about it a lot. And I always wondered, you know, was it worth, like my dad missing out on, siblings and parents and all this time with them,
Right.
over
Right.
hype, because I feel like that's what the United States has, is hype. People, make it seem like you just go there and, you're handed money pretty much.
Right. And it's not. People, a lot of people have to work their life away. I just recently said in my vlog, I went to get groceries and it was almost $300 for groceries that are only going to last 4 days. I can see why people are struggling. My mom, it's just my mom and she has to work full time. Um, and she has a really good job and it's hard. So I see where people struggle. It was scary for us. I do know God always makes a way even when we feel like we are failing and we are falling. So I do believe that, but I also know you have to make that effort towards what he's given you. And I think that's why Mexico we failed, but we've also always gotten through the really hard times because we've always, prayed and relied on God, wherever that is. If one day, if in 5 years from now, we have to move back, if that's what God wanted, I can trust it and I can know we're going to be taken care of. But it's always just for me, and I think for my husband as well, making sure we're putting God first. And then it needs to be your husband who is mentally and physically and emotionally taking care of your family, and then your wife, and then taking care of your kids in the same way. But sometimes that's really hard to do. Yeah. In just a second, okay?
It can be extremely hard to do. You know what I mean? Especially when you're focused on other things, I guess.
And I will tell you something, me and my mom get up early in the morning. We have a cup of coffee, and my mom likes to do Bible studies. And I think I might be wrong, but I think she was talking about Solomon and how he needed to finish a temple for God. And it was his job to do it. And he did finish the temple for God. Then he finished his own home. and it was like bigger than the temple. And it really stopped and made me think. I always pray that God is building our home's foundation. You know what I mean? But do I get so ahead of myself with all the other projects in my head? You know what I mean? That I'm building up the animals I'm trying to rescue, all the things I'm trying to do in the house, all the things I'm trying to do here, all the things I'm trying to do there. And I'm not making the time for God in the morning and doing my Bible studies and just taking a deep breath and talking to him and asking him about his plans for my life. You know, sometimes I think we get ahead of ourselves and we're like, here's our kingdom. I'm still building God's, but mine is right here and I'm putting it forefront. And that's where I think sometimes I start to feel God reining me back a little bit. And I would love to be able to be reined back without having anxiety attacks. But I think that comes with me having my good routines, like here in the morning, getting up with my mom an hour early and doing Bible studies helps my whole day to just feel so refreshed. And it's like sticking with that, even when I'm in Mexico, getting up early in the morning and having my Bible study and saying, okay, I have these steps, but they're going to be taken with God, not just, I'm not going to keep trying to take a step ahead of Him.
I think that's not so much a problem for me. Like, I think I've had to wait for so many things in my life that you almost become patient. You know what I'm saying? You almost know that you can't like rush things. I think that's why it makes it easier for me to like focus on one thing. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And not trying to make our life more about things that we want than more than what God wants.
Yeah.
You know, because like moving to Mexico, the only thing I wanted was for my kids to be fluent in Spanish and to live more of a free life and to have a childhood. And now, you know, if that was what God wanted, that will, He'll add more to what He wants. I don't have to keep thinking because my husband knows my head. I'm like, go, 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 go. And sometimes I need to slow down and be like, well, what was the reason we came?
And
And
so am
it,
I.
and in my
You know what I mean?
right,
I'm nonstop all the time. But like you said this before, and I know this. I know this about myself that I need to stop working. You know what I mean? I have to tell myself, you know what I mean, it's time to stop. You know what I mean? This is when we stop at a certain time and it's time to go enjoy my kids and family. I need to
right,
literally tell myself this. But I'm also, I also have to remember that, I can only do so many things with, you know what I mean, before it starts affecting you guys as well.
right. And it's that's where God gives you free will, because it's almost like for me, I believe in God, I love the Lord, I follow Him. Why do I fall into these anxiety attacks? But it's not God who's putting me into anxiety. It's me having the free will to do what's right with my time. And if I'm not, like you said, you stop and you're like, okay, it's time to stop what I'm doing, even if I don't want to, and enjoy my family. And I really need to learn um, to invest into the root of why we came into Mexico and building our God's kingdom with my children there. And anything that He wants to add to it, I'll know it's coming from Him, not just me being like, oh, this is what I want next. This is what I want next. This is what I want next. It's so easy. It's human nature to like want that.
Yeah.
But I can feel God calling me to be like, you need to make yourself make time to calm down, and everything that is meant to be is going to be on His timing. Oh, and then somebody said, yes, seventh day is Sabbath, keep it holy. That was something else that is very, very important. And do you know what that means, right, hun? Like,
Hmm.
um, taking the seventh day to just not do anything. And actually, yesterday, I just told my mom that she wanted to get up and go do a couple things. I said, Mom, I'm going to take Sundays and I'm gonna sit at home. I'm gonna read a book. I'm gonna let the kids play. And I did that, even though I was anxious to go out, and it was so calming. and so nice. That was when my uncle came in and was like, "What have you guys been doing all day?"
Gosh.
Um, oh, and thank you everyone. I love yeah, I'll never be afraid to talk about God on my channel because God has changed my life and my husband and my family. And I think I'm so blessed that my mom really rooted us in that. And and I hope, even if you have children, your prayers for your children will be passed on for like generations to come. And can't, if I were to leave that out of the reason we can be in Mexico or we can do anything, that would be such a disservice to all the people who don't like know the Lord and know where He's gotten us. There's no reason I should be able to live in Mexico and live out my dreams with my children the way we do, besides letting Him guide us and working hard towards something He gave us.
So, for those of you who are asking if you can move to Mexico, you can. Because, like Aaron said, there's no reason for us to be. You know what I mean? There's no other than it was God's will, honestly.
Right. And I will also tell a lot of you, if you are interested, if you've never been to Mexico, but you want to experience it in a lighter way, Ajijic and Chapala are great places. When I was in Chapala, right before we left, they had a Subway there, and there was a man in line in front of me, and he reminded me of my grandpa. He did not speak a lick of Spanish, okay, you guys, nothing. And the guy at Subway was like, "What do you want on your sub?" And the guy said, Anything you want." He's just using hand motions, like, "Put all of it." Okay. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to help him." So I asked the guy when he was done, I said, "How long have you lived in Mexico?" And he goes, "Oh, I've been living here 8 years. I retired here. I loved it." And he does not know a word of Spanish. So that Chapala or Ajijic would be a great place to start because everybody speaks English there, but it still has a ton of Mexican culture. I thought it was so funny. He reminded me of my grandpa. And he was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "I'm Lupita. Nice to meet you." You're all a blessing for me and bring joy. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Happy New Year from Jamina's family in Modesto, California. Thank you so much. I live in Mazatlan. This is where God sent us. We lived in California, and God literally told me and my husband to move our family. Wow, Denise Hernandez, that is beautiful. I'm gonna get going, you guys. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed night. I will see you back in Jalisco very, very soon. But watch tonight's vlog if you want to see the giant beaver. My husband's gonna go watch it now too. I bet he can't wait to
I've
get off here and
I've
go look
already
at the
I've already
evidence.
watched it.
You did? Did you
Yeah,
see the evidence?
I don't feel like that's real.
It was real. Oh my word.
No.
Okay.
How
Good
do they
night,
know?
everybody. Huh?
How do they know?
They had the remains of the beaver.
I need more proof than that.
There's more proof. There's more remains than just that. Did you see the mastodon?
Hmm. I need more proof than that.
I'm telling you. I just want to know proof of why they shrunk.
I don't know. No idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's the weird part. I don't think the museum's just going to make up a bunch of lies.
Well, neither I don't think the Bible is either.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they didn't mention giant beavers. I'll tell you that much.
They do mention giant animals
Giant beavers
and goats. Yeah,
specifically.
maybe giant animals though.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good night. I love you. Bye. Good night. Oh wait. Michigan had rattlesnakes once upon a time. Actually, yes, it is rare, but they do still have them.
What?
Wait, now people are getting me into the beaver thing. Hold on. They probably got smaller because of more competition from other mammals. But why would that make them smaller? I'm going to have to really research this beaver thing. Okay, I think that was it. I think that was the last we got on the beaver. If you guys have more information about the giant beavers, leave it in the comments after our live, because we always read through the comments again, and I am okay. Wait, someone else has more. Oh, yep. Okay, they would need less food and resources to survive. That'd make them
To
smaller.
cause confusion. Oh my god.
Crystal said, "I'm gonna go research them now." Laugh out loud. I can I'm Lupita. Nice to meet you. When I am in, if you ever see me in Chapala, if you randomly are ever in Chapala and you see me, you know I'm Lupita. Don't give me away. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay? You see me in Chapala or Ajijic or Guadalajara. Last time, two brothers saw me on an airplane on the way to Mexico, and they stopped and they were like, "Oh, we just wanted to say, we watch your YouTube channel, and it's so cool to meet you." And I was like, "Thank you." And I was like, "I hope they call me Lupita." But they didn't. If you call me Lupita, I'm gonna know you're a true fan of Touch a Light Homestead. Uh-oh, my husband froze. Hopefully his internet didn't go out. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa Rodriguez. Thank you so much. And I already feel better talking to all you guys, and it's gonna feel nice getting back home and having a nice, fresh little restart. Oh, my husband froze. Oh no. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, he's gonna go look up everything he can about those giant beavers so he has more information than me. But you guys have to give me more information because I don't want him to know more than me. Moonchild 55, good night. And I just want to let you know you're always in my prayers. So you went home yet? Have a nice flight. Take care of yourself and remember to rest. Thank you so much. I have so many questions about the beavers. Me too. Watch the vlog because it compares them next to Annabelle. Hurry back to Mexico. Yes, I will. Buenas noches, todo. I can't believe my husband's thing went off. That is so funny. I'm gonna hurry up and go find more information about that beaver than him. Good night, everybody. Buenas noches.